This must be the nexus of the universe, where the universe creator meets God.
That wasn't even creative. You just stole that right from the
No,
post
that was
title.
different. That was different.
No, it wasn't. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to episode 32 of eSports Canada TV. We are live across the nation with the #1 eSports show coming out of St. John, New Brunswick. I'm your host, at Quinn in the Net, John Quinn. You can follow me on Twitter with that little tag right there. And my two lovely hosts, the unoriginal, uncreative, most boring man on the planet, ESC Jovian, and his teacher counterpart, the man whose job I secured for him this summer,
Yes.
Song. Nick, how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing well. Cheers to that. Chocolate milk, best drink on any occasion.
I heard you purchased that chocolate milk in a bag. Care to comment?
I'm gonna get ridiculed for this. I don't know. It was cheaper. It was like a couple cents cheaper. I decided to go with it, but I only have one of those milk jugs, like one of them in my fridge. So unfortunately, the bag now sits in a really large Coca-Cola cup.
That
Obesity
took way
cost
too
you in
long.
the end, Songers.
It did.
John, I wanted to
Yes.
say you missed the underlying joke when I said Nexus of the Universe, because neither Flash nor Nestea play Protoss.
Oh, really?
Oh, did you get it now? Okay.
So it was like an anti-joke.
No, this is quite the joke.
Someone in chat says they are a fellow St. Johner. Fish Bob, thank you.
So he's
and
the
I love
one.
You. Send
The
me your
only one.
Twitter and I'll send you $100 of internet monies.
Esports dollars.
That too. But that's real money for some of us, Nick. Who works
Sure.
for free in esports? Be an
Oh
idiot.
snap.
Without further ado, gentlemen, I know he's waiting in the wings patiently. We did have him scheduled for, I believe, 2 to 3 weeks from now, but we couldn't wait any longer, and so we kicked all of our other guests away and said, we want Kane. So, introducing the newest member of Root Gaming, as was announced on Friday, Mr. Sam Kane Morissette. Sam, how you doing this evening?
Not too bad, thanks.
Fantastic. We're going to cut to the chase and get right to the nitty-gritty. First of all, if you want to tell us where you're from, where you're living now, and how you got involved with this crazy old she-goddess named eSports.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm 20 years old. I'm from Manitoba, and I've lived here for most of my life. I was originally born in Alberta, but I've been into a few different places. Like I lived in the States for a couple of years, and then ended up here. So I've been living here for the past like 14 years or so. Yeah, I'm a full-time student right now. I'm in my third year of my undergrad. Have one more year to go. What else? I guess I got started into esports probably most other people. I just played the game and got better and better, and then here I am. I ended up getting, I don't know, pretty good, I guess. And then
Modest.
and then yeah, I mean, just laddering and getting my name out there, and really not too much of an exciting story, but that's how she goes.
Now, I noticed in the Root put up a video after they announced that you had joined the team, where you answered a lot of the same questions that I just asked. But you mentioned how you didn't really play Brood War, and you were never really like an RTS guy, and you just kind of picked up StarCraft. What were the games you were playing, and how did you all of a sudden start to say, hey, I'm going to try out this StarCraft game?
Yeah, so I played a lot of MMORPGs. Like I played Guild Wars for a while and World of Warcraft for a little bit. But in all honesty, like I never really played any RTS. And my friend just one day said, "Hey, try this game out. Like I'm gonna go buy this game because it's getting released really soon." And I'd never heard of Brood War, and I'd never heard of StarCraft 2, and I gave it a try, and I just really liked the game and kept playing after that.
Fantastic. And at what point did you kind of realize, hey, I'm not at the level of like a Nick or a Frank. I'm actually pretty good at this game.
That hurts.
Ouch.
I mean, did you
I don't
pick it
know.
up and install it and you got ranked master and we're like, oh, okay, this is fun? And
No, I
Or
got
Canary, or
placed
was
in
it
bronze.
bronze?
I
Okay.
got placed in bronze right away. I mean, it was a really gradual thing, and there wasn't one point that I can point to and be like, yes, this is a spot where I noticed that I was good. It's more of a gradual thing. You start beating better and better players. Like, you'll start off playing really bad people and then slowly grow your way up, and soon you'll start beating like low tier pros, like North American pros, and then mid tier, and then it kind of goes like that. But yeah, it was a really gradual process.
I'm seeing right now in the chat that the max quality we can get right now is 360p, and I'm wondering if we can get a consensus here. Should I restart and check the settings to make sure that I'm actually producing it in max quality?
Does it
I
actually?
want to do the show justice.
Well, does it make Nick look better in 360p? Because if we
Well,
increase
it does kind of blur out his face, which is best.
You guys
it's
suck.
viewable, but
It's
I don't know. I guess it's whatever the
Viewable.
chat wants.
All right, chat's
Yes.
saying it's fine, so we'll continue. So you before joining Root, you were with Pulse, and then you were kind of teamless for a while. I remember talking to you as we were trying to run the Fiber Op Cup. I was asking your team, and you said, "No, I'm no longer with Pulse," and you wouldn't really tell me who you were going to. So how long was this whole Root transition in the works?
Yeah, well, I started talking to Cats a couple months ago while I was still in Pulse, and I was still on contract at that point with Pulse, but I mean, esports contracts aren't really binding, so it's not like you're gonna get sued if you leave a team. But still, I wanted to leave off on a good note with Pulse, and so I asked them like if I could be released from my contract, and at first they were kind of reluctant to let me go because I was one of the better players on the team, I guess you could say. And I asked like a month or so later, and they seemed to be a bit more okay with the situation, and they agreed to let me go. And so that was the reason why I left Pulse. And unfortunately, last I heard, a lot of players had left Pulse after I had. So that's too bad. But I mean, Pulse is a really great team to be in, and I don't want to give the impression that Cats is trying to like poach me or anything. But yeah, like I did start talking to him a couple months ago, and I joined the Root chat, and I guess a couple of the players had like their doubts about me or whatever, but I seem to have convinced them that I'm not such a bad guy. And yeah,
being number one on GM for a long time probably didn't hurt your cause.
Yeah, exactly. And then like 3 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago or something, it was kind of finalized that I was going to join Root, and we wanted to delay the announcement until the fundraiser. So we delayed it, and everything went as planned. And I got announced about a week ago, or not a week ago, like a few days ago, like 3 or 4 days ago. So
Yeah, I think it was on the 20th or something.
yeah, something like that.
Yeah, it was during the Root was holding a fundraiser for their trying to get a house in California, or gaming house. And I'm sure we'll pound you with questions about that later.
Yeah, for sure.
All the answers. So, Kane, I think I remember correctly, Hendrillus, when he had won the LAN ATS in Montreal, he said that he used you as one of his practice partners for ZVZ. That's right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Hendrillus used you, and he said that you were just dummying him. Like, when you guys were playing, you were ripping him apart. So he was teaching you, he was learning a lot of things from you, right? So Henry's using you as a practice partner. Who are you using as a practice partner?
To be honest, like a lot of my practice is through ladder, and the MMR I'm at right now, you kind of meet the same people over and over. So, like in ZVT, I meet Muslim a lot, or Shuttle, people like that. And that's in ZVT. In ZVZ, I meet Idra, I guess, and a couple other. Like ZVZ is a bit more random, and it's a lot more straightforward of matchup right now. So I don't know. I don't really feel like I need to practice it too much because I know what I need to do, and it's just doing that same thing over and over. So it doesn't really matter who I practice with. Like Hendrilisk is a good practice partner as well.
Yeah, he's alright.
And then he's good.
He's an okay
And then ZVP, I don't know. There's not many good Protosses on ladder right now, to be honest with you.
I just got promoted to Diamond like a couple weeks ago. I haven't ran into you yet, but soon.
Who are you even practicing with? Oh, Hendrillus, Scarlet to Muslim, Jovian.
Such a hipster. You've never heard of him. Yeah, I feel like ladder is in a way, it's like you're playing a single player game and everybody's like a boss. So like you have to beat White Rod to get to the next level. So
Yeah.
that's kind of how it
I
works.
I actually have always preferred ladder to custom games. Custom games you tend to play a lot greedier and not as safe versus the person, and you get used to that one play style. So I find that
Yeah.
ladder is a lot more diverse, and it exposes a lot more holes in your play. And yeah, I found that it's always fine practice. Like I've almost never practiced through custom games with people. I got to where I am just through ladder.
And I
Well,
think custom games work out a lot better for kind of that more Korean scene where you have things like Pro League and GSL where you know your
Mhm.
opponent going into a matchup. You know, I'm going to
Exactly.
face these three people, these three races. That's all I have to practice. So you go on a custom and you find people with similar play styles. Whereas someone in the North American scene, it's a whole ton of open brackets, online qualifiers, things like that, where
Could be
Exactly.
ladder
anyone.
speaks to that a little better.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
well, I'll see you on ladder, my friend.
All
But
right.
I want to ask. So you just recently joined Root, so I know we strayed away from that because I wanted to ask the question about your practicing. But what are you most excited about joining Root right now?
I would say the thing I'm most excited for is just knowing everybody in the team. Like the team is full of really, really nice people, and I know a lot of the people in there, and a lot of them are my friends. So it's nice to have that environment where you're comfortable with everybody, and there's no bad blood between anybody. So that's really nice, and also just it offers a lot more exposure than Pulse did, just because it's more of an established team, obviously, and yeah, I mean, Pulse is always trying to get their name out there, but it's hard to break into a scene that's already a little bit saturated with teams. So, joining an established team was something I wanted to do for a while, and I'm really excited to do that with Root.
Awesome. What are your goals that you're looking forward to? Like joining Root now, being part of this more established team. What are your goals, or what are the next steps for you in this team?
Yeah. So, well, the first thing is the summer is here for me now, so I plan to start playing a lot more than I was able to during the school year, which is already a good amount, but I plan to play more now. And hopefully I'll be able to go to a team house. I've been talking to a couple people, including, I mean, Root Team House would be really, really nice, but I've also been talking to a couple other people regarding a team house, especially just for the summer, because I want to finish my last year of school. And I mean, if I'm able to go to any tournaments during the summer, that'd be nice as well. But during the school year, it's a lot more difficult just because of time constraints and financial constraints. But yeah, so like most of my goals right now are just directed towards the summer, and after that, I'll have to kind of play it by ear and see where it takes me. You know.
So actually, just talking about the team house, Canada obviously not well known for its team houses, right? What
Right.
do you think? Well, how do you feel about that? I mean, is it very important to have a team house? Let's say a team house in general, or even a team house in Canada. Do you think it holds us back in Canada to not have any?
Um, I mean, I would say the best thing about a team house is just being around people who have the same goal as you and being able to kind of get that motivation from like share that motivation with other people. But if you already have that motivation and like I wouldn't say it's truly like a great thing to have. So I don't think it really holds us back in Canada. But another advantage of a team house is like one of the reasons that Root is looking at kind of the San Francisco area for a team house is the ping to Korea. So it'd be really nice to be able to go to San Francisco and have a decent ping to Korea and be able to play on the Korean server. But so that's like the main reason I'd want to go to a team house. But in all honesty, I'm pretty motivated already to get better. So yeah, I mean, unless it's like a Korean team house, I don't really see the point in people just going to a team house. Like
Yeah.
Just to
you know,
fight?
yeah, yeah, exactly. I would say that if you're lacking motivation, it's something that you might want to try. But um, yeah, that's just my kind of view on it. I might completely change it when I actually get to a team house and see how it operates. But right now, that's kind of my outlook on them.
Mm,
Are
awesome.
you living at home right now, or are you with roommates?
I live by myself right now.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
Baller.
Yeah,
Look at that.
for
Yeah.
sure.
Well, I don't need roommates. Look at me.
Got
I just
everyone.
won the fiber up, guys.
Yeah, big money.
Yeah.
Big
So
prize.
Kane, right now you said so you're living by yourself. What's the scene kind of like in around your surrounding area? So what's the scene like in Winnipeg?
It's pretty non-existent. I mean, there's a few players and everything, but the only tournaments in Manitoba are like the Baseline, which occurs biannually. But I mean, it's getting pretty small. Like,
Right,
there's
right.
not too many entrants, and
Do you guys
Well,
have
they all
Warcraft
they all
streamers and
found out
stuff?
that you were coming, and then
yeah,
They all fled. All left.
the the Barcrafts. I'm not too sure if they're still happening. I know that there were a couple,
Mhm.
but yeah, I'm not too sure.
I see.
I know somebody who runs them. I'm gonna look it up while you guys are talking. Sorry.
Well, I have a
did you go to
question.
Baseland 2
Oh, yeah,
years
Baseland.
ago?
I know. I just went to. My first Baseline was last year, and that
Okay.
was for a qualifier for WCS Canada, and then I went to one other, I think. Yeah.
And you were at
Yeah.
NASL in Toronto because I remember you being there.
Mhm.
Mhm. Yeah.
Were you there? You were there early on, and you were playing with Fuzzy, right?
Fuzzy?
No,
No, I
maybe.
don't think so.
Okay,
Maybe.
I couldn't
I
remember.
forget.
I remember there was two guys that were there before like everyone else that were playing, and I just kept delivering them water bottles every like 3 hours. And then I told them they had to get out, and they were like, "What?" And I was like, "I'm just kidding. You guys can play forever." I thought it was you and
Could
someone
stay
else, but
forever.
obviously it wasn't.
We have some questions from the chat here. Hydrolus asks, have you looked into long-term regards to your pro gaming career? Post-university, do you plan on going into pro gaming more professionally, or do you have other ideas?
Yeah, so I actually recently posted a blog on this, and part of the issues that I'm having right now in life are deciding whether I should take a couple years off for StarCraft now or after university. But either way, I want to take a couple years off and give a shot at it because it's something that I'm pretty passionate for and something I want
Yeah.
to give it a go. So I definitely want to take a couple years off. It's just deciding when, because obviously education is important as well, and I do
For
want
sure.
to finish my undergraduate degree, but I don't want to delay too long because I don't know. I feel like
You could be a white rod though.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
no 30-year-old GSL champion.
yeah, but like I don't see the points in going to school if you're only going to half-ass it. So
Mhm.
that's part of the dilemma I'm having right now is just deciding. So right now my plan is to finish my undergrad, but that may change within the next few months depending on how things go. But either way, after I give it a shot, pro gaming that is, I do plan to pursue further education. Either way.
Excellent.
That's a good question. I think Hydrolus should be on our show.
No, screw that guy.
Yeah, we don't want that guy.
I'm always interested to hear from younger players, and I can use that term because I'm super old. How your parents have been receptive. I know that you're still going to school, so they can't be too disappointed, but do they kind of take this seriously as it can be a career, or are they just like, oh, my son plays video games?
It's more of the latter, I'd say.
Yeah.
And part of the problem is that I haven't really been too open about StarCraft with them. I mean,
Are they not watching the show right now?
no, they're not. I think
We
I think
told
part
you
of
like
the
a week in advance.
issue-
This is
they're
garbage.
obviously they're part of an older generation and they don't really understand technology, let alone esports. So it's hard to explain to them that you can be like, you can kind of make a career out of this, or at least make a little bit of money out of it. So
Or make a lot of it, like you.
yeah, for sure.
We do make VODs of the show after, so we'll make sure to give it to you, and then you just email it to them. And if they can't open YouTube, then they're a little bit too far gone. They'll have to wait until we're on TV, but they'll watch the VOD. They'll watch the VOD.
Sounds good.
I wanted to ask, actually. Sorry, I'm eating because I'm sick, so I'm trying to eat oranges. So I'm sorry, but
See?
do you know
unprofessional.
Sean Burke, who runs Play Winnipeg in Winnipeg?
Sean Burke?
Yeah. You don't recognize him?
No.
No? Okay. Maybe I'll get you guys hooked up at some point. But I think he runs Barcrafts in Winnipeg. I'm not sure if he's done anything recently, but I'll start talking to him. and I'll be like, why don't you know Kane? Why doesn't Kane know you? And then you guys will talk, and then you'll like blow up, and everything in Winnipeg will be esports. So,
We won't pop
Yeah.
and then nobody will talk about the Jets anymore.
It's all about Kane SC2.
Does anyone talk about the Jets anymore? Another question from chat. A Gallant Knight wants to know what's Kane's most memorable win, either on ladder or in tournament play, and who is a player that you just can't seem to beat?
Ooh, good one.
Okay, so most memorable win would probably be we played a clan war versus FXO Korea pretty recently, like Pulse did, and I ended up killing or beating, I guess you could say, Grubby FXO Tier and FXO Gumiho. So those were and then I ended up losing to SC. So that was probably my most memorable win, just because I think those players are really good and. Yeah, it was kind of a good win for me. And then, what was the second part of the question again?
It doesn't matter. You
can't
beat
you beat?
Gumio. Like the show is now over.
Yeah,
I'm going
yeah.
to bed. That's ridiculous. How were you just fanboying out were you just sitting there alone in your room like I can't believe I'm playing like FXO right now and I've just three
Actually,
killed.
I had forgotten that the clan war is that night, so I had actually invited my girlfriend over to spend some time together or whatever, and we ended up having to pause our movie because I had to play StarCraft, so she wasn't too happy. And to be honest, I was just trying to finish as quickly as I could, and I was still pretty happy after, though. I mean, killing most of the players on a professional Korean team is, I think, a pretty good accomplishment. So yeah, I was pretty happy, but I also wanted to kind of get it over with. So.
I can just see you like winning the first game and your girlfriend's just hating it and you're like I won and then
Yeah.
you just keep winning and she's getting madder and madder. I love it.
Yeah.
So she didn't get it. She didn't get the magnitude. She didn't understand what happened.
No, I kind of helped explain it to her, but at the same time, like if you don't play StarCraft, you don't know who these guys are. So
Yeah, I remember the first time I beat Gumio. It felt good.
Told your wife she didn't get it.
Yeah, my wife didn't get it though.
I don't get it.
That's okay.
Kane, I do want to talk about the Fiber Up Fall and Spring Cup because you are the first ever champion and first ever two-time champion of the Fiber Up Gaming Cup. You won last year facing Saravati in the finals and winning handily. And then this spring you beat Drunken Boy in the final. Can you talk about those two tournaments and what they kind of have provided you?
Sure, just 1 sec. Sorry, somebody's at the door and I don't know who. I'll just let it go. Whatever.
No, that's cool. You can answer it.
No, I don't care.
Somebody stream. I'm trying to remember who it was. Anyways, I was watching somebody stream, and then they like answered the door, but the door's right behind, so you just see him get a package, and then he comes back to play, and then he opens the package later.
There was a great Reddit post talking about a guy who was on not streaming, but he was like in a game, and he just said like 1 second, guys, someone's at the door, and then it showed a screen cap of his like on Steam like last time played, and it was like 6 years ago. And he just hadn't been online since that moment when someone was at the door.
Oh,
That's kind of scary.
But back to the Fiber Up Cup.
okay.
Yeah. Okay. So the games against Saravati were a while ago, but the main thing I remember about that is I felt like it shouldn't. Like I ended up winning 4-3 in the finals, and I felt like it shouldn't have been that close. So. I don't want to sound condescending or anything, but I wasn't too happy with those games, to be honest. I felt like I should have played a lot better, and it shouldn't have been that close. And then this time versus Drunken Boy, I was a bit happier with how that went, especially because I was a bit worried going to the finals versus him because he plays Terran, and Terran is pretty strong versus Zerg right now. And he's always been kind of the more abusive type of player. Like he always, if something's overpowered, I don't blame him for this, but if something's overpowered, he's going to use it a lot. And so, yeah, I was a bit worried going to the finals versus him, but I knew that I was a better player, and so, or a stronger like macro player. So, yeah, the games went pretty much as planned. I ended up winning the first two, and then he won the next two, and then I won the last two. I think that's how it went, or it might have gone like 3-1, and then, yeah. But anyways. I was happy with how it went, and obviously I'm pretty happy with the results. So
Yeah, you're the one and only champion of the Fiber Up Cup, and I'm
There's
guessing
Yeah.
you'll be
never been
returning
enough.
for our next one.
yeah, I think so. Yeah, I hope
Fantastic.
so.
You'll always be invited back because you just keep winning them, so we can't really tell you no.
Sounds good.
Who do you hope to play in the next finals?
um, I hope I play Hendrilisk just because I feel like it was disappointing this time because I had to play him in the semis, I think, and it should have been the finals. But so I hope I meet him in the finals because he's a really good player and really good friend of mine. So I hope I meet him, but it kind of depends on the bracket and how that's. It's kind of depends on luck of the bracket how things line up. So
Well, I know a guy, and I'll try and make it so you guys face each other in the finals.
yeah,
You heard it
Don't
here
make
first.
Desron.
The finals for the Summer Cup will be
It's all
Kane
right.
versus Henderless. Best of
All
six.
right.
I felt so bad last time in the Fall Cup. I was doing the adminning for the finals, and they gave me the map pool, and no one noticed that there was only 6 maps in the pool, but there was a best of 7 for the
yeah, yeah.
finals. And so it went to the game 7, and Kane's like, there's no maps left, and I was like, what? And I go and look at the
Yeah.
map pool, and there was no maps, and so we had to sit here and decide for 15 minutes what was the best way to come up with a map to use. So we just picked like a random GSL map to use, but.
Yeah, I think we. Yeah, I remember the map that we used too. I just forget the name of it, but it was kind of like.
It's like the underground, or underwater one.
Oh, Abyssal
Yeah,
City?
Yeah, Abyssal City.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Hilarious.
Which is a good map, but it was still.
Yeah, at least they didn't put you on Steps of War or some garbage.
Yeah, I wouldn't be too.
Yeah, but
happy
that's
about
Zerg favored, man.
Oh,
that. Yeah.
Pro Protoss. Actually, Kane, I wanted to ask, I think I read this somewhere that you actually want to focus mostly on online tournaments. Why do you think this might be? Is this because you're in school? Is it because of your location? Do you just prefer online tournaments? What's it about online tournaments that you're all excited about?
Yeah, it's mostly just because of school and where I'm at, like in terms of physical location. Because I mean, there's not many tournaments around Manitoba or Saskatchewan, and unfortunately, I wanted to go to the tournaments in Saskatchewan there, and I had the bus ticket spot and everything, but the buses were closed that day because of a storm of some sort, so I wasn't able to attend that. But like, I do want to start going to more lands, but also I don't want to be missing, a week of classes or 3 days of classes or whatever to do that. So that's mostly the reason I just want to focus on online tournaments at this point, and then maybe after I take some time off after school to go pro or whatever you want to call it, I'll be able to attend more online event or LAN events.
I actually have a follow-up. So at your school, do you guys have like an esports scene? Do you guys have an esports group at your school? No,
No.
you got to start one then. It's you. You have
I
to
go
do
to
it.
I go to a university where there's only like 4,000 or 5,000 students, and
That could be
very
4,000 or 5,000 gamers. You don't know.
Yeah.
All of them.
There's very few StarCraft players, I think, where I go to school. Unfortunately, most of the people I know play FPS games or stuff like that.
Esports is esports, man. But it'd be cool if you guys start something up because at least across teams, schools are really conducive to this sort of thing because oftentimes you'll get money from the school because it's a school culture thing. And plus, schools usually have the infrastructure. They have the space and they have the internet speeds. They have the power to run it. You just usually have to bring your computers. So
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
look into it.
What school is it, Kane? So we can write them a letter.
it's called Brandon University.
Do they have a Twitter?
They actually
Everybody
might, yeah.
tweet them right now. Let's look
Everyone
it up.
tweet right now and tell them they have the best
Which
StarCraft
is
player in North
Brandon,
America
sorry?
goes to their school.
Yeah, they actually do. Brandon U News at Brandon U News, but please
You
don't
like this
tweet
idea?
Yeah,
them.
and
Everyone
Sam-
tweet them.
Sam Morris got expelled from university, the day after appearing on Esports Canada TV. As a Twitter mob attacks the school.
There it is.
We
Yeah, they got
apologize.
quite the followers. They might retweet us, guys. We should say Sam from Brandon University.
Please don't.
Retweet.
Student number 6722.
I don't want my social life to be ruined.
Hey, you're that guy that likes video games. Get him.
Oh, man.
Speaking of the online and offline tourneys, WCS NA happened yesterday and the day before, much to the chagrin of a lot of people because it was handled poorly, has been the general consensus from the community. Did you have a chance to play in the open bracket? And if so, how did you do? And if not, how mad are you, bro?
I did actually have a chance to play. I ended up losing 2-1 to Complexity's the STC, who is like a really good Terran. So yeah, I won the first game, and then the next two I lost, unfortunately. So that was a bit disappointing, but I did better than I expected because Korean Terrans are really strong right now, and if it was a Terran or Zerg or a Protoss or a Zerg, I would have felt a lot more comfortable. But as it turned out, I had to play him, and so I dropped to the lower bracket, and then I ended up playing a Taiwanese Zerg. I don't know who it was because he was playing under his team's account. So that was, and I underestimated him and ended up losing 2-0. But I don't think I would have made it very far anyways, just because there were a few Koreans in the lower bracket that definitely had the potential to knock me out. So in terms of the whole WCS being handled poorly, like the WCSNA being handled poorly, I didn't really experience any of that firsthand. So, I mean, I don't really have an issue with it, but I know from a lot of people they were saying that there were a lot of issues with the bracket and with the players
Yeah.
within the bracket.
In terms of actually watching the tournament, I mean, it was great. Axel and Axel Toss do a great job. Casting and whatnot. The games are super entertaining. It was fun to see Canadian guys. Like I tuned in, when was it, Saturday, and saw Demuslim play, or Demuslim play Jake Bake, and I
Yeah.
effing love Jake Bake, so I was like, sweet, got to watch all of his games, and he took a game off to Muslim, so I was super stoked. So I mean, that was awesome. But knowing that that's like the one time that I'm ever going to get to see 99% of the guys from North America now that MLG's gotten rid of their open bracket and they run this weird qualifier in-person hybrid, it was just kind of depressing. And so, I mean, that's when I look at how it was handled poorly. I don't really look at, oh, this guy was disqualified because he was not playing under his own account. I more look at they had a 512 person qualifier where half those people aren't even in Diamond.
hmm
And then,
Yeah.
like, it just doesn't seem right when there is a lot of serious talent. Um, were you ticked off at all that they didn't do region locking and so many Koreans did come over, or did you kind of appreciate the challenge and said, hey, if I'm going to win this, I'm going to have to beat Koreans at some point. I might as well do it now.
Yeah. To be honest, I'm kind of indifferent to it. I know that I have a lot of room to get better, obviously, and I know, like, to be honest, I don't really care about tournaments too much at this point. I just want to get better.
Hmm.
So even if I were to get into the main bracket and be guaranteed, $1,500 or $2,000 or whatever it is, it'd be super nice. Don't get me wrong, but I my main focus right now is not winning tournaments. It's just improving. So when you ask about the Koreans coming over and playing or playing online, I don't really mind. I don't really have an opinion on it. So I guess I don't have a very interesting answer because just in general I don't really care.
Yeah. No, I mean
Apathetic.
that speaks to your aspirations in the scene. I mean, a lot of people were bitching like, "Meh, they came over and now they're just going to win everything." And I mean, it does suck from that standpoint where you don't get to see the North Americans actually shine and follow those stories. But at the same time, if they did qualify, they were going to have to play Koreans at some point. So
Yeah, yeah.
if you're going to win, you're going to win.
And I mean, part of that, I've always been kind of uh, not angry at the esports scene, just really questioning their motives because, like, players like the Muslim and Idra get, you know, thousands and thousands of viewers, and then you'll see like uh, players like Beyond streaming, they get 1,000 viewers, whereas Beyond is like 10 times better than either of those players, to be honest with you. I mean, Demuslim can trade pretty evenly games off of him, but his other matchups are Beyond's other matchups are just a lot stronger, and he's a better player in general. So uh, I've always been of the opinion that Koreans deserve, this chance and this opportunity because they do practice a lot harder, and when there's so many good players in Korea, they don't always get the chance to shine. So I guess I don't really mind that they come over and get their chance to shine, you know, because they do deserve it, and they're really good players, obviously. So
I think those three examples you gave of Idra, Beyond, and Demuslim, they definitely, the three of them speak to three different audiences, right? I mean, if I want to just, all I want to watch is a pro player play and I want to follow his builds and actually learn the game and improve, and I'm, a master's level looking to break into GM, I'm going to watch Beyond because he has the top play ability, but he doesn't necessarily have the entertainment value. Where if I
Sure.
tune into Idra, he's going to have his raging, he's going to be calling everyone a fuckface and throwing things and getting into it with other pros that I know. So there's that
yeah,
entertaining value, and it's kind of to see how bad is he going to play today. Whereas the Muslim's actually reviewing replays, and he's kind of been on this rise lately, and he's pretty entertaining, and he plays different music for sure than 95% of the other streamers. So I mean, there's
yeah,
definitely that three different approaches. But I can see
and
why an Idra and a Demuslim are more popular compared
right,
to a Beyond. When
and
in
it
reality
does
they
speak
shouldn't
to
be, but
right, it does speak to three different audiences, but I think that and I mean, I understand that entertainers like Idra and the Muslim are like they're both good players, but they're also really important for the esports scene just because they get players interested. But at the same time, I want people to be judged on their skill and not their entertainment value. So
yeah.
I'm kind of resentful of the esports scene in that respect because I do think that a lot of really skilled players do get overshadowed by these entertaining characters, you know. So I wish it were different, but I understand why it is the way that it is.
Yeah.
Mm.
Speaking of Idra and his raging, I know hearing about you back in the day from people whenever I'd mention, Kane's playing in the tournament, people would say, "Oh, his stream is great. He's always pretty BM and he's always kind of raging about Terran and whatnot." And I never
Yeah.
actually got a chance to tune in and witness any of that. You were always just kind of playing games whenever I watched. But I did have a chance to see you recently about maybe 2, 3 weeks ago. I caught a VOD where you played In Control on ladder, and I caught this kind of heartfelt moment where you were apologizing to him and just saying, "Hey man, like I'm really sorry for being a dick in the past. I'm trying to be a little less BM now." And he kind of said, "Hey, thank you. I appreciate it. You'll notice if you act nicer that better things will happen to you, and you'll have more fun." Can you talk to that and how you kind of had this reputation as being a BM rage guy, and how you've transitioned out of that?
Yeah, so I mean, back in the day, uh, I think a lot of the things that I did kind of got over exaggerated because I I've always been a player who loves to dance my units and who loves to have a little bit of trash talk going on, but uh, somehow people really are sensitive in the esports scene and they really do take that personally. And when they have like a giant ego or when they really uh, they connect their skill really closely to each and every game. So when they lose, they feel like shitty players. And so when when you dance your units or when you trash talk, they kind of get very defensive around that, which I can understand. But yeah, I mean, recently I've kind of realized this and realized that people don't like when you dance your units, which is unfortunate because I think that it does add some entertainment to the game and kind of adds like a storyline to each game when you play the same person over and over. So I do miss it a little bit, but I've been I've been trying to be a bit more mannered and trying to dance less and trash talk less. So.
Just let
What-
Kane dance,
Yeah.
guys. He
Yeah,
just wants to
Let
dance.
the boy
See, the
dance.
thing is, when you have trash talk, like even between Minigun and Idra, they love to trash talk each other, and it does add a storyline to each game. Like each game they match on ladder, people are excited to watch that, and
Like He-Man and
it's
Skeletor.
yeah, and even for the players, like it's really entertaining to play those types of games where you're really trying your best to beat this person because you think they're an asshole or because you think that you're way better than them. So
And it must mix up the monotony as well of, grinding out 60 ladder games in a row where you're facing barcode after barcode. The only human interaction you have is GLGL for
The dancing
yeah,
circles.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. And I mean, as much as I hate to admit it, but a big part of my motivation for getting good at this game was so that I could beat assholes and be an asshole to worse players. So I mean,
Revenge.
Yeah, exactly.
This is like Count of Monte Cristo.
Like
Were
when
you
somebody
BM'd when you were a kid?
when somebody trash talks you, you want to get better and you want to beat them and show them that you're better than them, you know? So I think that was part of the like a real big reason for why I wanted to get better. And it kind of worked out for me. So I don't know, maybe more people should BM and trash talk. I don't know.
You heard it here, guys.
I won't stop till
Yeah.
I'm number
How
one and
you
I can
improve.
BM everyone.
Yeah, exactly.
I actually wanted to make a point about you were saying, I guess people don't really like the dancing or the BM. We've had people on our show in the past, like Vincent Hugh and Mike Ralston from the fighting games community,
Mike
and they
Daniels.
say how. Sorry, or Mike Daniels. Sorry, did I call him Mike Ralston?
Yes,
Mike
you did.
Daniels. He's from Ralston Arcade. So, anyways, what they said is that they see the esports scene in like StarCraft. It kind of spawned out of Korea, where there's like this different culture about how you treat each other, and everything's kind of you play in a booth and it's single player. But then in fighting games, where it grew up and how it was cultures, people are like standing up on chairs and they're smacking moms in the face and they don't give a crap, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
maybe
I've
you
actually
should get
heard
into
that.
fighting games community and then you can do all the BM you want.
Yeah, maybe. I've actually heard that about the fighting game community too. How it's a lot more. There's a lot more storyline to each game or whatever it is. So yeah, I kind of envy that. I envy them in that respect. But like you said, the StarCraft scene is completely different. So
I don't know, man. Korea may have like the different culture and they're seen as like reserved and whatnot, but nothing beats BM and like GSL when it gets down to like round of 32, round of 8 or something, when people are like dancing stalkers or like throwing
Yeah.
down just like 15 manor mules and then they stand up and they're just like, what? Or, like
Yeah,
who was it that went
exactly.
into the other guy's booth like right after he beat him? You can't beat that.
Yeah, I remember that too. It was Genius and somebody else, but he went into the booth and was
Tony
like
said Genius.
kind of
Yeah,
crap
Genius.
talking a little bit.
No one ever beats Firebat Hero though. That guy. If you guys want to look up
The
the
ceremonies.
best celebration, Firebat Hero.
Is that the one where he basically gets naked and jumps in the
and
ocean?
jumps into the ocean and starts swimming? That's
Yeah.
the guy.
We do have another question from chat. Execute, who's our guy from LAN ETS in Montreal, wants to know if you plan on attending any LANs for the rest of 2013 or other offline events.
Okay, so if I do go back for my final year of school, which right now I'm planning to do, I'll want to stick to lands closer to Manitoba, so Western Ontario or Saskatchewan, or even if time permits and money permits, maybe even Alberta or something like that. But I will want to stick around to closer to home.
How far from Windsor are you?
I actually don't even know. I could look up the distance right now on Google Maps. One sec.
We have the technology.
Everybody quiet. Don't say anything.
20 people are about to drop out of Land of the Dead.
So,
Hydraulis is pretty far.
It gave me to the wrong Windsor. One sec. Apparently, there's a Windsor near Detroit or something.
The chat's ripping
Yeah,
on your
there
Google
is.
Maps
That's
API.
the Windsor near Detroit is the one where there's going to be a
Oh.
land soon, and if you're not near that one, then
Yeah, apparently it's like a 20-hour drive.
yeah,
So-
because where he is, John, Windsor is south
Oh,
of us.
I thought Windsor was more west.
No, even so, he's like you still have to go around the lake,
Yeah.
bruh. Geography.
He's out there at the lake, you know. Fargo.
That's unfortunate. Sorry, but were there any other lands that you plan on hitting up? I don't know if you completed your sentence before we.
Yeah, it's just mostly King of the Prairies and Baseland are the two lands near me that I know of. And I don't know. I know Baseland will be happening again. I don't know the plans for King of the Prairies, but I assume that they're gonna put.
I
up
know
another
Josh Lewis
event.
too. I'll get you connected. with him.
I actually know him too, though.
Oh,
talked
look
to-
at you.
He was gonna pick me up from the bus station when I got there, but
Oh, so nice. Yeah, he's a super nice guy. He's been on the show.
yeah, that never happened, unfortunately, because of the buses, like I said. But hopefully this next time around, it'll happen.
Just make sure he drives you. Tell him Frank said so.
Okay.
You know Jovian? Yeah, get in. Kane, we're getting near the end here. There's about 13 minutes left, and we do want to get into the lightning round. But before we do that, I do want to give you the chance to say your last words, whether it be plugging your stream, your Twitter, where can we follow you, watch you, stalk you?
For sure. Yeah. I'll actually be streaming right after this show, so if you guys wanna after the show head over to twitch.tv/KaneSC2. I'll be streaming there. You can follow me on Twitter at root_Kane. I'd like to say
This
thank
time
you
I've
to
had
my.
your old Twitter up. I apologize.
Oh,
Oh,
you have
that's
his old one. I'll put the new one in the chat.
That'd be cool. And yeah, thanks to my new team, Root. And other than that, not much really. Thanks for having me on.
It was a pleasure.
Thanks for
It was fun. Yeah, I think that's it.
Fantastic.
John, can I do a new segment before you do your segment?
No,
No, it's pretty
something
serious.
that you just wrote here in the chat.
Yep. In our chat, Tony Trans, one of our production guys, and he says that a university he attends has 5,000 people. This university holds a LAN party, which is pretty epic. It's a 3-day event. It's got huge numbers that come in. They've got massive sponsors. It's actually a really good thing. It's called LAN Wars, right? And they've had like 5 or 6 already. So you said your school has 5,000 people. So I am now the president of Brandon University. And you walked into my office because there's only 5,000 students, so he has time to see you. And you have to tell, you have 1 minute to convince me to run eSports events at my school. Your time starts now.
That's 10 seconds of laughing.
Come
I'll
on!
give you a freebie. I'll give you a freebie. I have 2 daughters, and they both play StarCraft. Go. So I know about it.
Your daughters would love this opportunity. They'd really enjoy themselves and they'd have a blast.
Are you trying to get on my daughters right
I can't tell if he's trying to sell StarCraft or proposition your daughter. You know, this is a great opportunity for them. They're gonna have a blast.
I'll give you my prized cow for them.
The dowry?
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. Thank you.
Excellent.
Yeah, so I guess we're not going to have esports events, but I will marry your daughters.
Both of them. Oh, you're such a stand-up gentleman. I'm glad
Yeah,
you
what can I
shared
say?
Gentlemen.
my
I'll
daughter.
provide a good home for both of them.
Well, sir, I don't know if I'm going to give you your event anymore. You should probably not pitch that when you actually to your president of your school. You should do something at your school because there
I
are.
have 2 sons.
Yeah.
Does the offer still stand? Thanks, Frank, for that pre-lightning round.
The thing about having an event at my school though is if I went and propositioned the president, like I just end up winning the StarCraft
That's what I was just
event.
thinking.
So it'd be like
He wins all the money.
it'd be like asking for money for myself. So I don't really.
You're
I don't
growing esports though, and you're training people because they're watching your replays.
Yeah, but how discouraging would that be to like just get smashed by somebody that you just heard of like a day ago?
All right,
Like,
chat. Anybody that is from the Winnipeg area and you're good, he's calling you out right now. You're going to
Wants to
attend
win
an
your
event and you're going to beat Kane. And then we're going to have you on the show and we're going to forget all about Kane.
Nothing's worse than running your own tournament and then winning it.
Yeah, John's done that.
Yeah.
So rigged. So rigged.
I see your point though, but it'd be nice to just get something going for the students that come after you. But however it works out, man, I hope Winnipeg since gets bigger because I know there's obviously some amazing people like yourself there.
Yeah, thanks.
So, enough detours from Frank. I'm going to play this sick lightning round intro, so I ask for pure silence. Oh, look at that font with the bolts in it. Wow, I think it froze. Let's see if I can play it again. Oh no, it's crashing and burning.
That font looks a lot better.
Here we go, here we go. Oh yeah.
Good.
10 questions of no return. And it blows up. All right, Sam,
That's
I'm guessing
good,
you've seen
John.
the 31 episodes that preceded this very one, so I will not bore you with the details of the lightning round. For anyone in the chat who has just joined us or has never seen the show before and has only come because they are huge fans, either past, present, or future, of the newly named ROOT.Kane, here's how it goes. I ask Sam 10 skill testing questions, physically, emotionally draining questions that will take him to the edge and back, to the edge once more, and possibly over said edge. 10 questions. You need to answer them as quickly as humanly possible. Sam, ROOT.Kane, Morissette, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Fantastic. Oh, I almost forgot the music here.
Oh yeah.
There it is. There it is.
Set the scene, John.
I do have the rights to this music. I purchased it. It was $12. Make it worth my while, Sam.
Okay.
Question number 1. You're a Manitoba boy. We all know the Winnipeg Jets recently returned there after years of absence.
Mm-hmm.
Every lightning round has a hockey question in it. You know that.
Oh God.
31
I don't know
lightning
anything
rounds,
about hockey.
31 hockey questions. Question number 1, 2 players for the Winnipeg Jets. And I can tell from your already moaning and groaning that you're not a fan of hockey or just not a fan of the Jets. So you can name a player from the past or from the present team. 2 players. 2.
Oh God. Was Wayne Gretzky on the Jets at one point?
No, that's incorrect. And that is so incorrect that I'm not going to give you a chance to name another person. -1. -1 point.
He just names the most popular player. Name a player on the Toronto Raptors. Michael Jordan? Michael Jordan, is he one?
Was he?
Right?
-1. Question number 2. It's a little-known fact that you, in fact, started playing StarCraft as the dreaded Protoss race, but then in mid-2011 you switched to the Master race, aka Zerg. Question 2. Switching from TOS to Zerg was comparable to...
You want me to fill in the blanks?
Yes. No, I have a severe stutter, is one of them.
Breaking up with a really, really obese woman and start dating like Mila Kunis or something.
Whoa! Hatred.
Fantastic.
Frank, I guess you and I are chubby chasers then.
Like,
Well,
okay, let me
What's
explain
your
that
vote?
analogy. Let me explain that analogy a bit, because
Yep.
like Protoss is really easy, and I imagine that getting with, would be quite easy.
Okay.
But it takes a lot more skill and a lot more. It's a lot harder to get with Mila Kunis.
Wow, I see what you did there. I don't know if I like it, but I see what you did.
I see what he did. I understand. I understand the idea.
You don't like Mila Kunis?
Love
I'm
me,
not saying I
Cole.
don't like Mila Kunis, but
Okay, that's good.
I don't mind.
+1 for you. +1.
My oh yes, see that?
A guest has never given
I'm
out
turning
lightning
this
round
around.
points. A guest
I'm
has
turning
never
this around.
given out lightning
Now
round
you're
points.
on the lightning round.
My God.
He flipped it on us. He flipped it on us. I'm flipping it on you. +1 takes you to 0. +1 again. He flipped it. You're +1. Question number 3. In your 1998 Inferno match against The Undertaker at Unforgiven, who won?
I always win.
Oh.
I'm actually not sure who won. I was a fairly big wrestling fan back in the day. But I do know that that's where and when that match happened. Who won? Kane always wins. I don't know. I think that was the first time the brothers faced each other. And it was the first ever Inferno match. It wasn't very good. Do you get sick of the jokes of people referring to you as the wrestler?
A little, yeah.
Okay.
This is the first and the last, John.
This was the first and the last.
Yeah.
Well, usually people are like Kane the wrestler whenever they hear his name, and it's just like, yeah, that's the same one.
Yeah.
+1, that's a pity point, because I feel bad for you.
Attaboy.
Question number 4. This is an actual trivia question.
Ooh.
What is the top performance by a root player at a major tournament?
God.
Both past or present, I guess.
I don't even know all the players on the team.
Ooh. That might be another question.
I'm gonna say Kiwi Cocky at IPL 3.
Very close.
Ooh.
The answer is
Whoa.
Kiwi Cocky.
Ooh.
But he placed second at 2 straight MLGs
Oh, okay.
in
That's
2010 and
pretty
2011. The pre-Korea
pretty close.
days. I'm being told by our production assistant, Rude Massa, won our Toronto LAN.
Oh yeah, that was a big
That is
deal.
in fact a major tournament. So no
Did you see the novelty check inside the envelope? It was this big. It was this
So
big.
small.
TT1 also got second at MLG. All right. No
Did he
points
actually?
awarded.
John,
Oh,
check
God,
your facts, man.
BBs back then.
Well, that's not what Wikipedia is telling me. But oh, yep, he did actually get second. Cool. What do I know? Question number 5. I think you're at 1 point still, correct?
Yeah.
Good to keep track. Question 5. Name the top 3 Root players in terms of handsomeness.
Me, and then. Ah, God, there's not many to. Theognis,
Ransom.
Theognis. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
and then that's a tough one. I don't want to say cats.
But he has that like Latin flair.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Very
but
hot
still,
right now.
Saucy.
it's better on a woman.
Oh man, your team's mad.
Maybe Fitzy here.
Fitzy here.
Yep, there too. Yeah.
I need to pull this up just because it's too good not to. Okay, let me get here. Left screen.
If
Okay,
does Rotterdam still have the piercing?
This is the picture of Root Fitzy that is on Wikipedia. And this is the other. Look at that stare.
Oh man.
It's pretty good.
See,
helmet.
he was pretty handsome. He's a good-looking guy.
All right. The story checks out. 1 point for each of those answers, and 2 points for being super modest and saying yourself. Sometimes it's hard to admit that you are attractive.
Man's got to do what he's got to do.
He's got to. So that's 4 points. You're at 5 right now, going into question 6.
That's good. That's amazing, actually.
Not
That's a
bad.
really good score.
Yeah, I know.
Question 6. Your favorite 3 Pokemon.
Gengar,
Mhm.
Blastoise,
Ooh.
and that's a tough one. Probably, I like the ghost Pokemon, but I can't really think of Dragonite. Dragonite. There we go.
All right, so this question is less about your actual knowledge of Pokemon and more so your instant reaction of being able to name off your favorites. These are your favorites. You know who they are. You rattled off 2 very quickly. That's 2 points.
I remember in the old Pokemon game, I got Dragonite up to level 99, and I used to be able to beat the Fantastic Four with just one Pokemon.
I think he gets an extra
Yeah.
point for just naming them from the first
Yeah.
150.
Do you know what else? Do you know who had the number 99 in hockey? Don't answer that.
Gretzky.
Question number 7.
Oh, Elite Four, not Fantastic Four. My bad.
-1.
Oh no. Got his
I'll take
comic
it like
references
that.
mixed
I
up.
take it like
well, I think you're at 6 now. Yeah, you're at 6. I gotta pull something up here real quick for this next one.
John.
Okay.
You ready?
Question number 7, and I'm going to give you an example because this might be a bit difficult to understand. Describe the Manitoba flag without using specific color names.
It's a bison. I don't even need an example. It's a bloody bison.
Okay. It's not just a bison.
Yes,
The bison
yes, it
maybe
is.
makes up about 4% of the Manitoba flag.
There's a bison on there.
Yes, there is a bison on there. But what I was looking for
I didn't say it was a buffalo. So +2.
he's calling his own shots. I can't argue with this. +2.
See, if anybody Googles the Manitoba flag, if you don't know it already, that bison's pretty small. I can't believe the first
Yeah.
thing. It's bison. It's a
Kane's
bison.
version is like all bison.
Does it have like Louis Riel or something on there or what?
Pardon? What?
Does it have Louis Riel on the flag somewhere?
Nope. It looks to be some sort of rock mountain area that he's standing on, and what appears to be like is that Scottish flag? Is that what that is?
It's the
Oh,
first
above it? I don't know.
okay.
But the Union Jack is in the top.
Yeah.
left.
Well, yes, thanks.
That's not.
No, it's the Union Jack, John.
That's not the Scottish flag.
That's the Australian flag. Question 8. You're currently at what? 7 points?
8 or 9, yeah.
8. Okay, 8.
Yeah, there you go.
This uncontrollable aura. I just can't.
You can't handle this guy. Man.
Question number 8. You're at 8 points somehow. Do you still talk to Alanis?
My sister's named Alana. Does that count?
Whoa.
And
Does.
I'm not lying either because my grandma was named Alana, and then my parents named my sister Alana. So It's pretty
was that-
close.
Was that hard on your sister?
A little bit. Pretty- yeah, a little bit.
That's
It's harder
to
on
see.
me it's harder on me having to explain to everybody why she was named Alana. But yeah,
And John just made you go through it. -1 for John.
no, infinite. You were honest. I like that.
Mhm.
+1 point. 9 points going into question 9. You're actually ahead somehow. You play Zerg. ZBZ has often been called a knife fight. Which
Yeah.
StarCraft Pro would you most like and dislike to get in a real-life knife fight with?
um, I'd have to say at least dislike Idra, because that kid's got some built-up rage inside of him, and you don't want to piss off somebody who's got some built-up rage.
Just stabbing.
Yeah, and most like I think I would probably Stefano, because being French and all, I don't think he's fought a day in his life. So,
Oh,
I think he
jeez.
just, and if we did fight, I think he'd just surrender right away, anyways. So I'd have to say,
Whoa.
Ooh.
What a history buff. What a history buff.
Apologize for using that knife. Question 10. Yeah, you get points at the wazoo for that. Seems like you had hatred for evil geniuses.
a little bit, yeah.
Oh.
I can't wait for Root to face EG.
EG, yeah. All kill him.
Question 10, I have intentionally left blank, because usually I like to get to know the guest, see how our rapport is, before I can ask the final and most important question. Before the show, I asked Sam what he was taking in school, just to gauge, is he like an engineer guy, or is he like an arts dude? And he replied, math is his major, with a minor in philosophy. Now, you're an expert in math, expert in philosophy. I know a little bit about philosophy. I know my multiplication tables all the way up through 12.
Is that philosophy or is that math?
That was my math. That was my math example.
Okay.
What I need from you is you're going to ask the questions. You flipped it on us multiple times. Now it's time to truly flip it on us. You're going to go around the circle, asking either a difficult math or a difficult philosophy
Oh, I get
question.
murdered.
How difficult do you want it to be?
Difficult
He's a
enough.
math
Don't try to
major.
completely stump us like something that we're just not going to know. That's actually not like a math question that we have to sit here and work out 15 minutes, but more like in this equation, what is this section called? What it's
This is the
certain
worst
terms,
question.
not so much
Okay.
calculations.
Oh,
And
God.
philosophy, the book's open for you.
I'm gonna embarrass my race here.
You can
Who's
start
first
with
first?
you can start with Nick and then Frank, and you can finish me.
Oh,
Okay. Okay, so Nick.
Here we go.
So you know what pi is, right? In math?
Yes.
You know it's okay. What is that? Like I know it's 3.141, but what does pi refer to? How did they come up with that number?
Pi is the ratio between I think it's the ratio between the diameter, no, not that, the circumference of a circle. Whoops, I just knocked over a fork.
I thought that was someone clapping because you got half of it.
Good answer. And I think it's the radius.
Yes. Very good.
Yes.
Or
Congrats.
is it
I should call
diameter?
my
or
dad, he'd be
radius?
proud of me.
It might be diameter.
it's 2
But
pi r
either way.
squared, right?
Either
Oh,
way, you're
Pi r. No, 2 pi r. So
close enough.
Hey guys,
Yeah.
let's stick to video games. No one knows.
Close enough.
dude, when was the last time you actually like calculated the area of a circle? Like, who knows this stuff? All right, go ahead.
Okay, Frank is up next, and I'll ask a philosophy question. I guess. It's hard to think of philosophy questions though. Do we have free will?
Ooh,
Oh,
this is
jeez.
loaded.
And state your reasoning
Oh,
behind
I was
your
just
answer.
gonna say a word. Okay. I'll say no, and I'll say we don't have free will because we are a product of our experiences, and we act upon those experiences. And if we don't have those experiences, we can't act upon those things for which we don't know. So we don't have free will.
It's a pretty good answer.
It's pretty concise, right? All right.
Yeah, close enough.
But was
Now
it not
kill John.
Aristotle who said
You're
that
not
we were
right.
all born a blank slate?
No, you're thinking tabula rasa. That was somebody else.
John Locke. But
Thank you.
Aristotle did say that we have free will though. But he had different reasonings behind it.
So
But,
nice one,
actually,
John.
a good friend of mine is a philosophy major, and we get into drunken arguments about free will on a fairly consistent basis.
Yeah, that's a good answer. I'll accept
So
that.
are we 2 for 2 right now? So John,
Two
don't
for
let us
two.
down.
John's the weak link in this.
John's the
this
weak
It's
link.
true.
He's gonna
I know what I
lose.
know. I don't know what I
Okay.
don't.
Do you know anything about derivatives?
Oh God, no.
Okay, I won't ask. I won't be mean. Okay, I got one. What is 10 to the power of -1? Ooh.
Don't calculator it. You can do this.
Hands
You
are up.
don't need a calculator for this. You just need your head.
Is it not 0.1?
It is. Very good.
Yes!
eSports Canada.
Woo! That was rough.
John, that was tight.
I was
Good job.
hoping for a philosophy question, actually, but
It's
Oh,
clutch.
I'm sorry. I wanted to switch it up a little.
that's fine. You switched it.
Yeah.
That was the funnest lightning
fun.
round we've had since last week. Just gonna tally up the points here.
He did well. He rocked it pretty hard. MDFOL.
Oh, yeah, that was me tallying up the scores.
Yeah.
2 pi r
you won the area of a circle.
I'm
That's what
playing
you
a circle right
10
now.
to the -1. We're looking at 11.
It's
Pretty good.
It's a perfect
That's
score, +1. Not our
Congratulations.
highest score of all time.
Yeah.
It does qualify you for our Tournament of Champions happening at the end of the year, where we bring back the top 10 Lightning Round participants and face them off in a Lightning Round bracket of world domination.
Not bad.
Yep.
I'm
That's
up
not
for
actually
that.
a real thing. Do not get excited about that.
We should
Sam, you
start
have
making it
been
real.
a pleasure. You were intelligent, well-spoken, and above all that, handsome
And so BM.
And good
Yeah,
at
I know.
StarCraft.
I know.
and super modest.
Yeah, I know.
So, Sam, any last words from you before we close out the show here?
No, it was lots of fun, and I hope we can do this again sometime.
For sure.
Fantastic.
We'd love
Actually,
to have
oh, damn it. There was one other question I wanted to ask that I didn't have written down. What's
Go
the
for
deal
it.
with Root stealing all of the Canadian players? Root has, like, the most Canadian players of any team in the world right now.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I think it's just because Cat's ladders a lot, and a lot of the Canadian players meet him on ladder and such, and he sees potential in them, I guess. So he's not afraid to pick up a lot of growing talent, whereas a lot of other teams want to pick up already established talent. So in that regard, it's good because a lot of those growing talents like Vibe or TT1 or whatever, you know, they become pretty good players, and so that's really nice.
Fantastic.
Awesome.
Plus another point for the lightning round. That's 12.
Yeah.
Well, fantastic, guys. Be sure to check out Sam's stream as well. Shoot him a tweet and tweet to Root as well, and thank them for picking up one of our top Canadian talents. And be sure to root for Root in the next tournament Sam plays, whether that be in Saskatchewan or somewhere else around
I
the
put all
world.
that info in the chat as well. His Twitch and Root's Twitch and his stream.
Fantastic.
Thanks.
Other short things, guys, before we close it out. You guys did Armada Gaming over the weekend?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh man,
we
it
did.
was awesome.
Yeah, great tournament. Basically, we had 36 teams show up, duked it out all to the end, or best of ones to the end. Then we had a best of 3 finals, and yeah, it was really intense. A lot of casting. I had a course early on in the day, so it was 7 a.m. course till about 3, and then I had to get home and do the stream, and I was dead tired at the end of it. But some amazing Dota was played there.
Yeah, it was a really
VODs
good
are
event.
also on our YouTube, so go check those out.
Yeah, maybe I'll link that before we end.
Last words from you, Frank?
I want to say a couple things. One is that I watch Root Minigun a lot because I'm a Protoss player. Otherwise, I'd watch you, Kane. So make sure you tell Minigun that I love what he does and that he should come on the show. And I don't know why, just tell him. And the other thing I wanted to say who's on next week. So we actually swap. So Tortellini will actually be on next week. He had to swap because he had an exam today. So next week we have Tortellini. The week after that we have Drekken. And then, so that's May 6th, we have Drekken Pones from Toronto doing Anime North stuff. And then the week after that, we have the two owners of StarCraft StarCraft's division of Killing Spree. So Cadium and P-Mind.
Fantastic. Kane as well, I have you on StarCraft. I'm sure you don't have me. But I messaged you yesterday to congratulate you on the new team, and my name is Toaster. So when you looked at that and said, fucking fanboys, that was me. So feel free to add me if you need high-level practice, whatever.
I get way too many messages every day, so I just close most of them because there's not enough time to respond.
No, I imagined as much. Guys, we have a tournament coming up. As soon as the ticker passes, I can give you the details. Toronto League of Legends 5v5 has been dubbed the Inhibitor. Happening May 18th is our online qualifier for that. And then the live finals will be held at the Yorkdale Shopping Center on June 1st. In person, the top 3 teams will qualify for that, some cash prizes. And so you can check out all the information on that on our Facebook page, facebook.com/eSports Canada. I'm not sure if all the spots have filled up. I hope not, but hopefully you can at least participate in the online qualifier. And Sticky Flames has a 24-hour charity marathon stream coming up April 26th. You can follow all that, twitch.tv/StickyFlames. And they have a bunch more charity events coming up, all for Run for the Cure. So find all their information at www.stickyflames.com. Make sure to follow eSports Canada on Twitter at esports_Canada. I have been at Quinn of the Nets. He has been at EFC Jovian. That guy in the bottom right corner, who I got a job for the summer, is at EFC Songers. And the guy below me, Cam Kane Morissette. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks.